This is a map of Long Beach, California. This map portrays the results of the Cal EnviroScreen 4.0. Cal EnviroScreen is a screening methodology that can be used to help identify California communities that are disproportionately burdened by multiple sources of pollution. Census tracts are ranked with a score between 1 and 100 based on pollution indicators and population vulnerability characteristics. Census tracts shaded in red and orange experience the highest pollution burden, while yellow and green areas experience the least. Just from looking at this map, you can see there is a clear pollution disparity across Long Beach. But why? Why does this area of Long Beach have a Cal EnviroScreen score in the 80th and 90th percentile? While less than 4 miles away, this area of the city has scores in the 10th percentile and lower. To investigate why this disparity is so prevalent, we must really explore the question, how did this reality come to be? Redlining. In the 1930s, the Homeowners Loan Corporation created residential security maps that defined decades of housing discrimination, unequal resource allocation, and disenfranchisement. White and rich neighborhoods, shaded in blue and green, were given the highest ratings. Communities of color, shaded in yellow and red, were avoided and underfunded. Redlining is an example of the structural racism that served to further entrench racial and economic segregation and inequality. Almost 100 years later, Long Beach is still heavily divided by race. While legal redlining is a thing of the past, the consequences of this racist practice remain today. Click on any census tract to see its racial demographics. This has also created a legacy of extensive economic inequality. Darker green census tracts indicate areas with larger median household incomes, while lighter green and yellow are areas with lower median household incomes. How is this related to environmental disparities? When companies and local governments decide where to put hazardous facilities, infrastructure, and other features that contribute to pollution, they often choose places that have the least power and ability to resist. As a result of redlining and other forms of structural racism, exploited communities of color that don't have economic resources or political clout are often excluded from decision-making that shapes their surroundings. This is known as environmental racism. Racial discrimination in environmental policymaking and enforcement of regulations and laws, the deliberate targeting of communities of color for toxic waste facilities, the official sanctioning of the presence of life-threatening poisons and pollutants for communities of color, and the history of excluding people of color from leadership of the environmental movement. These neighborhoods in the North and West Long Beach have become known as the diesel death zone, and there are many features of the built environment contributing to toxic conditions. The Port of Long Beach. The Port of Long Beach and the nearby Port of Los Angeles are the two largest container ports in the country. They are the entry point of the booming goods movement industry. Cargo ships carrying thousands of containers and the massive port infrastructure contribute to hazardous air and water pollution. The 710 Freeway. The Interstate 710 Long Beach Freeway was built in the 1960s as a major trucking route to deliver cargo from the Port of LA and Long Beach to the rail yards in Commerce. Its construction disrupted and displaced the many communities of color that reside along the freeway corridor. And it continues to impact communities today. Over 800 cargo trucks travel on the 710 every single day, contributing to the extreme levels of hazardous diesel pollution for local residents. Areas shaded in dark brown experience high levels of diesel PM 2.5 pollution, while areas shaded in lighter brown and tan experience lower levels. Refineries and toxic release facilities. The same region is home to the highest concentration of oil refineries in California. These toxic facilities release poisonous toxins into the air and are known to cause dangerous explosions and chemical fires. Alarming asthma rates are proof of the industrial poison people breathe. Air pollution has been shown to increase people's risk of asthma, cancer, cardiovascular disease, and other extreme health consequences. Census tracts shaded in dark purple have higher rates of asthma hospitalization than those shaded in peach and yellow. It is clear, environmental racism has a very real, very devastating impact for communities in Long Beach, and it's imperative to understand how and why this toxic reality has come to be. But it is also critical to remember that Long Beach is not the only place that looks like this. In fact, most cities in the United States face similar disparities. These examples of structural, institutional forms of racism have widespread and lasting consequences for so many communities across the country. Without dismantling and reshaping these entrenched structures, environmental racism will continue for Long Beach and many places like it.